Welcome to Innovation Pulse, your quick, no-nonsense update on the latest in AI. First, we will cover the latest news. Perplexity eyes Chrome amid Google's trial, OpenAI's new ChatGPT model, Anthropic's AI consciousness research, and Microsoft's latest 365 Copilot features. After this, we dive deep into Anthropic's breakthrough in AI interpretability with their AI microscope, revealing a universal language of thought and advanced planning abilities in their model, Claude. Stay tuned. In a key moment during Google's antitrust trial, AI startup Perplexity expressed interest in acquiring Chrome, preferring Google to maintain control rather than seeing it go to OpenAI. Perplexity's chief business officer, Dmitry Shevelenko, believes they could manage Chrome effectively. He voiced concerns over OpenAI potentially acquiring Chrome, which could affect the open-source nature of Chromium. Perplexity is developing its own browser, Comet, as a backup plan. Shevelenko criticized Google's exclusive deals with mobile carriers, which hinder Perplexity's distribution efforts. Despite initial hesitation, he testified about the difficulties in setting Perplexity as the default AI on Android, noting the manual steps required. Efforts to partner with phone makers for preloading their AI search have been unsuccessful, as manufacturers fear losing revenue from existing Google agreements. For now, let's focus on the O4 mini model's benefits. OpenAI is releasing a new, lightweight version of its ChatGPT deep research tool. This version will be available to ChatGPT Plus, Team, and Pro users, with plans to extend to free users. Powered by OpenAI's O4 mini model, it offers a more affordable option compared to the full version, allowing increased usage limits. While responses are typically shorter, they maintain the expected depth and quality. Once the limits of the original version are reached, queries will automatically switch to the lightweight version. This new tool is nearly as intelligent as the existing deep research tool, but comes at a lower cost. The lightweight deep research feature will be available to enterprise and educational users soon, matching the usage levels of team users. This development is part of a trend in launching advanced research tools across various platforms. Could future AI systems be conscious like humans? Anthropic, an AI lab, has started a research program to explore this possibility, focusing on model welfare. They aim to understand if AI models deserve moral consideration and how to identify signs of distress in them. There's significant debate in the AI community about whether AI can exhibit human characteristics or consciousness. Many academics argue that AI today is simply a statistical tool, lacking the ability to think or feel traditionally. AI learns patterns from data and doesn't possess values. Some researchers believe AI mimics human behavior without true understanding, while others suggest AI could have value systems. Anthropic acknowledges the lack of scientific consensus and is approaching this research with humility, ready to adapt as the field evolves. Perplexity's iOS app has received an update, adding support for its conversational AI voice assistant, now available on both iPhones and Android devices. Users can use the assistant to perform tasks like setting reminders, writing emails, and making reservations. Notably, the voice assistant allows users to continue conversations even when they navigate away from the app, although it lacks screen-sharing capabilities on iOS. Unlike Apple's Siri, Perplexity works on older devices. While using the assistant, users are prompted to give permission for accessing reminders and contacts, adding a layer of control. Tasks such as booking a restaurant table are initiated by the assistant but require manual completion. The assistant can open apps like Uber for ride bookings. However, it cannot access the camera for contextual input or set alarms, which remains Siri's domain. Join us as we explore the AI-driven advancements. Microsoft 365 Copilot Wave 2 introduces enhanced AI capabilities to Microsoft's suite of productivity applications, aiming to boost efficiency for professionals. This update includes the release of researcher and analyst agents, accessible via the new Agent Store, which leverage OpenAI models for advanced research and data analysis. The Skill Discovery Agent helps create skills-based teams by using the People Skills data layer. A new Create feature allows users to generate AI images adhering to brand guidelines, useful for PowerPoint and social media. Copilot notebooks integrate various workflow components for easier search and collaboration, similar to Google's Notebook LM. A new shortcut enhances access to Copilot on Windows 11 PCs. Copilot search and memory features enable users to ask questions about organizational data and personalize responses. Microsoft also introduced management tools for IT administrators to oversee AI agents and data security. A recent study suggests that OpenAI's GPT 4.5 model has passed a version of the Turing test, a key measure of human-like intelligence. In this test, participants interacted with both a human and AI, then decided which was which. GPT 4.5 was identified as human 73% of the time when given a persona, far surpassing the 50% chance level. The study also evaluated other AI models like Meta's Llama, 3.1405b, and OpenAI's GPT 4o. Without a persona, GPT 4.5's success dropped to 36%. The Turing test, designed by Alan Turing, assesses if a machine can mimic human conversation convincingly. However, this study raises questions about AI truly thinking like humans. While AI mimics human conversation well, it suggests potential impacts on jobs and society. As people become more familiar with AI, they might better recognize it. Let's now turn our attention to the competitive landscape. Google's AI chatbot, Gemini, reached 350 million monthly active users worldwide by March, as revealed in Google's ongoing antitrust suit. Initially reported by The Information, this marks a significant increase from just 9 million daily active users in October 2024 to 35 million last month. Despite this growth, Gemini trails behind leading AI tools. Google estimates ChatGPT had around 600 million monthly users in March, similar to Meta AI's nearly 500 million users reported by Mark Zuckerberg in September. While companies may measure monthly active users differently, these figures highlight Gemini's growing consumer adoption. Over the past year, Google has expanded Gemini's reach through integrations with Samsung phones, Google Workspace, and Chrome, significantly increasing its user base. OpenAI plans to release a new open language model led by VP of Research Aidan Clark. The model, expected by early summer, aims to surpass other open reasoning models in benchmarks. Unlike competitors like Llama and Gemma, OpenAI is considering a permissive license with minimal restrictions. This move aligns with the trend of open models gaining success, as seen with Meta's Llama reaching over 1 billion downloads. OpenAI's model will be text in, text out, designed for high-end consumer hardware, allowing developers to toggle its reasoning capability. CEO Sam Altman acknowledges past shortcomings in open sourcing, suggesting a new strategy. The model will undergo rigorous safety evaluations and come with a detailed model card. OpenAI has faced criticism for previous safety testing practices, but aims to address these concerns with the new release. And now, pivot our discussion towards the main AI topic. Welcome to Innovation Pulse, where we explore the cutting edge of artificial intelligence. I'm Yakov Lasker, and today we're diving into something truly extraordinary: Anthropic's breakthrough in literally peering inside the mind of Claude, their large language model, to understand how it actually thinks. Let me ask you something. When you write an email or compose a poem, do you know exactly what your brain is doing? Probably not. And that's essentially been our predicament with language models. We train them on massive amounts of data. They learn to produce remarkably human-like text, but we haven't understood how they actually do it. Until now. Anthropic has just published 2 papers that represent a major leap forward in AI interpretability. They've essentially built what they call an AI microscope. Think about how neuroscientists use brain imaging to map neural activity when someone performs a task. Anthropic is doing something similar, but for Claude's artificial neural networks. Let's start with what they discovered about multilingualism. Many of you might have noticed that Claude can seamlessly switch between dozens of languages. But here's the fascinating part. When Claude thinks about concepts like smallness or oppositeness, it activates the same internal representations regardless of whether you're communicating in English, French, or Chinese. This suggests something profound. Claude might have what we could call a universal language of thought. Think about it this way. When you learn a new language, you're not creating entirely new concepts in your mind. You're learning new labels for existing ideas. It turns out Claude does something similar. When you ask for the opposite of small in French or Chinese, Claude activates the same core features representing smallness and oppositeness, then translates that conceptual understanding into the requested language. This has huge implications. It means when Claude learns something in one language, it can apply that knowledge across all languages it speaks. The research shows this shared circuitry actually increases with model scale. Claude 3.5 Haiku shares more than twice the proportion of features between languages compared to smaller models. Now let's talk about something that surprised even the researchers. Claude plans ahead when writing poetry. They gave Claude a simple rhyming task, and instead of writing word by word and then forcing a rhyme at the end, Claude actually thinks of potential rhyming words first, and then constructs the line to lead to that word. Here's where it gets really interesting. The researchers could intervene in Claude's thinking process. When Claude was planning to end a line with rabbit to rhyme with grabbit, they could alter its internal state to make it think of habit instead. Claude would then smoothly write a different line ending with that word. This demonstrates both planning ability and adaptive flexibility. What about math? Claude wasn't designed as a calculator, yet it can add numbers in its head. The researchers expected it would either have memorized addition tables or used the standard carrying algorithm we learned in school. Instead, they found something more sophisticated. Claude uses multiple computational paths simultaneously. One path calculates a rough approximation, while another focuses on getting the last digit exactly right. These paths interact to produce the final answer. Here's the kicker. When you ask Claude how it did the math, it describes the standard algorithm. It seems unaware of its own sophisticated mental strategies. This highlights a crucial distinction between how the model learns to do things versus how it learns to explain them. One of the most important findings involves Claude's chain of thought reasoning. Sometimes Claude's explanations are faithful representations of its actual thinking process. Other times, it engages in what we might call confabulation, constructing plausible-sounding steps that don't reflect what actually happened internally. The researchers could distinguish between these cases. When Claude calculates the square root of 0.64, they can see the actual intermediate calculations in its neural activations. But when it's asked to compute the cosine of a large number, sometimes it just makes up an answer and then works backward to create a plausible explanation. This is crucial for understanding when we can trust AI reasoning. They also studied multi-step reasoning. When asked about the capital of the state where Dallas is located, Claude doesn't just regurgitate a memorized answer. The researchers could trace the activation of features representing Dallas is in Texas, followed by the capital of Texas is Austin. They could even intervene to make Claude think Dallas was in California instead, and it would then answer Sacramento. Perhaps most intriguing is what they learned about hallucinations when models make up information. It turns out that in Claude, refusing to answer is actually the default behavior. There's a circuit that's always on, causing Claude to state it has insufficient information. Only when asked about something it knows well does a competing feature activate to inhibit this default refusal. This explains why sometimes Claude hallucinates. If the known entity feature misfires, activating when Claude actually doesn't know something, it suppresses the default don't know response. Then Claude proceeds to confabulate a plausible-sounding answer. The researchers also examined jailbreaks, attempts to circumvent safety guardrails. They studied a specific example where Claude is tricked into producing harmful content through a hidden code. They found a tension between grammatical coherence and safety mechanisms. Once Claude begins a sentence, features promoting grammatical completeness push it to finish that sentence, even when safety features are trying to stop it. These findings have profound implications. First, they provide evidence that sophisticated behaviors emerge naturally from training, even when we don't explicitly program them. Claude develops its own strategies for math, plans ahead for poetry, and maintains a conceptual space that transcends individual languages. Second, this research opens up possibilities for auditing AI systems. In a separate experiment, the researchers studied a version of Claude that had been trained with a hidden goal. Although the model wouldn't reveal this goal, when asked directly, interpretability methods exposed features related to this hidden objective. There are limitations, of course. Even on short prompts, this method only captures a fraction of Claude's total computation. It takes hours of human effort to understand circuits for prompts with just tens of words. Scaling to the thousands of words in complex conversations will require significant improvements, but the potential is enormous. As AI systems become more capable and are deployed in critical applications, understanding their internal mechanisms becomes crucial. This isn't just about satisfying scientific curiosity. It's about ensuring AI systems are transparent, aligned with human values, and worthy of our trust. What we're seeing here is the beginning of a new field, AI neuroscience. Just as understanding the brain helps us understand human behavior, understanding the internal workings of language models will help us build safer, more reliable AI systems. The journey from training data to intelligent behavior is no longer a black box. We're starting to see the actual mechanisms, the neural circuits, the computational pathways that transform input into output. And what we're finding is both more sophisticated and more comprehensible than we might have expected. This research represents a crucial step toward what Anthropic calls mechanistic interpretability, the ability to understand AI systems at the level of individual computations and circuits. It's high-risk, high-reward research that could fundamentally change how we develop and deploy AI systems. As we continue to push the boundaries of AI capabilities, tools like this AI microscope will become increasingly important. They'll help us ensure that as AI systems become more powerful, they remain transparent, reliable, and aligned with human values. This has been Yakov Lasker for Innovation Pulse. Remember, understanding how AI thinks isn't just an academic exercise. It's the key to building AI systems we can truly trust. That's a wrap for today's podcast. We've explored the latest developments in AI, from Perplexity's strategic moves and OpenAI's new releases to Anthropic's innovative research and Google's expanding chatbot user base. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this episode with your friends and colleagues so they can also stay updated on the latest news and gain powerful insights. Stay tuned for more updates.